News has never been so engineered. This week we've dug up the creme de la creme of engineering stories. But here's the twist. Not everything you read or hear is as neutral as your pH 7 water. Each news piece comes with its biases, its flavors. It's kinda like your favorite fruit salad. Some are too sweet, some too sour. For each story, we'll uncover the hidden biases and opinions behind it, giving them a rating from 1 to 10, with 10 being either highly biased or highly opinionated. The chapters in our video description are your golden tickets. Use them to hop from one article to another, and let's put our detective hats on. Article: Maui rescue teams search ruins full of our loved ones as death toll climbs. Live updates. Story by John Bacon and Yancey-Bragg, USA Today. Ever wondered how a quiet slice of paradise like Maui could turn into a roaring inferno? Imagine a peaceful community suddenly facing a catastrophe that makes headlines around the world. It's a heartbreaking scene in Lahaina, Hawaii, as the death toll from a fire soars to 93. But wait, there's an engineering twist to this tragic narrative. Over 1,800 structures razed, and amidst the ashes we find clues pointing to a deadly cocktail of dry summer, decreased rainfall over the years, high winds from Hurricane Dora, and oh yes, the often blamed culprit, climate change. This isn't just your everyday forest fire. It's an engineering enigma that screams global warming with a hurricane chaser. But if you're thinking, what's engineering got to do with it? Here's where it gets spicy. Hawaiian Electric is under fire for not de-energizing the power lines. Could that have ignited this hellfire? Well, the legal eagles think so, with a class action lawsuit flying their way. There's another twist. A community that prides itself on being a historic hotspot dating back centuries and a proud representation of the Kingdom of Hawaii has now become a victim of modern-day disasters. Will the engineering marvels of today rise to rebuild this fallen paradise? Only time will tell. Bias rating: 5 out of 10. The article leans slightly on climate change as a root cause, but also fairly highlights other contributing factors. Opinion rating: 6 out of 10. The story carries emotional weight, especially in discussing the community's loss and the historical significance. Why these ratings? While the facts are delivered in depth, there's a subtle emphasis on climate change and the emotional impacts of the disaster. But wait, did Hawaiian Electric really play a part in sparking this inferno? Well, we'll see what the experts say. Article: Crimea Bridge strikes continue to disrupt Russian logistics, ISW. Story by Ellie Cook. If you thought engineering was just about blueprints and equations, Crimea's bridges, masterpieces of engineering themselves, are becoming the main chess pieces in a high-stakes global standoff between Russia and Ukraine. Huge bridges, vital for transporting troops, tanks, and all those war goodies, becoming the target of strategic bombings. The Chandar Bridge, for instance, connects the Russian military logistics hub in Crimea directly to territories they control in Ukraine. And Britain? They've already tipped their hats, saying it's an ultra-important route for Russia's troops. But wait, there's more. There's also the Kerch Bridge. This bad boy is a mega-link between Crimea and the Russian mainland. In fact, Ukraine has been accused of launching an attempted strike on this very bridge, using what's essentially an air-to-ground converted missile. Talk about upping the ante in military engineering warfare. And just when you think things are stabilizing, Moscow chimes in, blaming Ukraine for shooting drones at Crimea. Not 1, not 2, but 20. The catch? 14 of those techie troublemakers were zapped out of the sky, while the others faced some old-school electronic warfare. Now, because of these strategic strikes, Russia's gotta put on their thinking caps and find brand new, innovative ways to move their supplies from A to B. This is becoming a serious game of chess. Bias rating: 6 out of 10. The article tends to lean a bit on Ukraine's perspective and strategy. Opinion rating: 5 out of 10. While there's a fair amount of factual reporting, there are traces of subjective language and viewpoint in the mix. Why these ratings? The article does offer substantial information on Ukraine's tactical efforts against Russian logistics. However, there's a clear focus on Ukraine's efforts, perhaps overshadowing Russia's counter-strategies. Article: Bugs in transportation app Moovit gave hackers free rides. Story by Lorenzo Franceschi-Bicchierai. Your trusty ride app Moovit was almost turned into a hacker's free ticket to anywhere. It turns out that being tech-savvy could potentially get you places, literally. Omer Adias, our cyber detective of the day, stumbled upon not 1, not 2, but 3 vulnerabilities in the app. Here's the engineering dish. These bugs gave Mr. Adias the ability to snatch any new user's personal details from anywhere around the globe. We're talking phone numbers, email addresses, and even those precious credit card digits. But the icing on the cake? The capacity to take over someone's account, cruise around on their dime, all while the victim stays blissfully unaware. Addy has coined it, the perfect attack. Well, for the hackers at least. So how did our man Addy showcase this discovery? By designing a nifty interface allowing him to hop into others' accounts with just a tap-tap. And though he played around only in Israel, Moovit drives around in a whopping 3,500 cities in over 100 countries. While this security flaw could have turned into a worldwide free-ride frenzy, Moovit assures us that no hacker held the golden ticket. Our whistleblower hero alerted them in 2022 and the company promptly put on their repair hats. They've claimed the issue's resolved and that your credit card data is as safe as a kitty in a padded room. Atty has chimed in saying he believes the exploit wasn't just limited to Israel. Bias rating, 4 out of 10. There's a bit of a tilt towards the researcher's discovery, but overall, a balanced take. Opinion rating, 3 out of 10. Largely factual with a dash of subjective phrasing here and there. These ratings stem from the coverage focusing mainly on Addy's findings, but also giving space for Moovit's response. Article: Samsung's new flip phone highlights the clamshell's comeback, story by Sareena Dayaram. Remember the good old days when slamming a flip phone shut after a call was the move? Well, the 90s are ringing and they want their flip phones back. And guess what? The flip phone's indeed making a killer comeback, but it's smarter and sleeker. Cut to today and Samsung is upping the game with its Galaxy Z Flip 5. This tech marvel now boasts a beefed-up cover screen that lets you peek into your calendar or track stocks without flipping it open. But don't let Samsung hog all the limelight. Flip phones as a whole are rolling up their sleeves, flexing tech muscles and getting ready to steal the spotlight. Remember Motorola's Razr? Their Razr Plus is now setting the standard for flip phones everywhere with its groovy cover screen. Then there's Oppo, the show stealer, introducing the world to a vertically oriented screen with their Find N2 Flip. The demand is real. Clamshell-style phones took the lion's share, accounting for over 50% of foldable shipments from 2020 to early 2023. With prices lower than the book-style phones, flip phones are like that affordable luxury everyone wants a piece of. Experts predict that by 2027, foldable phones could snag a whopping 3.5% of the market share, which is over 48 million shipments. However, flip phones like Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 5 need to fight some battles, like improving software and battling dust ingress. The race is on. Flip phones have to match the performance, price, and feature quotient of their more traditional smartphone siblings. For now, though, it's clear. Flip phones are back with a vengeance. Bias rating, 4 out of 10. There's slight favorability towards flip phones, especially Samsung. Opinion rating, 7 out of 10. The article offers detailed insights with a touch of enthusiasm for the tech evolution. Determined by the positive emphasis on Samsung's innovations, alongside the presented data and the exciting tone about the future of flip phones. Article: Hawaii Governor Josh Green says, very real. Global warming caused conditions for deadly wildfire. Story by Stephen Sorace. When you picture Hawaii, you think of lush landscapes, but Governor Josh Green has just described a scene straight out of a disaster movie. The recent wildfire that tore through the historic town of Lahaina wasn't just any blaze. This was a fire hurricane. With scorching winds reaching speeds of 80 miles per hour, the fire literally spawned cyclones that breezed through buildings with 1,000-degree heat. Now the real shocker. Green says this beastly blaze is on the account of global warming. Remember those bone-dry drought conditions and Hurricane Dora? Apparently they teamed up, fueling the fire that moved up to 1 mile every minute. Lahaina's wildfire has taken the infamous crown of the deadliest U.S. wildfire in over 100 years. And the after effects? Grisly. While the firestorm was busy wreaking havoc, the island's siren system decided to play the silent game. Governor Green acknowledges the criticism, assuring folks that they're investigating if those sirens hit the snooze button when they were most needed. Meanwhile, many residents took a chilling leap into the Pacific trying to dodge the fiery beast chasing their tails. In Green's words, this is the nightmarish face of global warming. Bias rating, 3 out of 10. While the article highlights the devastating effects of a natural disaster and its link to global warming, it still provides factual information and multiple angles. Opinion rating, 7 out of 10. Governor Green's statements carry a clear stance on global warming, making the article's tone somewhat opinionated. How did we get these ratings? By critically analyzing the depth of emotional language, the representation of different viewpoints, and the overall narrative of the piece.